Welcome back to Down to Earth Pats Talk. I'm Pats Discuss. Here we go again. I should really just name this show Down to Earth QB Talk, because I'm pretty sure every single episode I've done so far has been about the quarterback position. So what are we talking about this time? Well, guess what? The Stidham hype is back. Let's listen to this report from Mike Giardi of ESPN.
Yeah, Andrew, and how many times did I quote players last year, sources within the building in New England saying it really would have helped if we had Cam signed earlier. Obviously, he signed on June 28th to be a part of the team during the offseason training workouts, to get a good feel for his teammates, the area, the system, all that, right? The other thing was Jarrett Stidham. He's here. And while he was here last year, again, with not being able to do things on the field, not being able to be around your teammates like they are right now, at least some of them, they felt like he never really took the reins, grabbed them, and said, this is my job, which led to them go getting Cam Newton there at the end of June. So they feel like this is definitely a positive development. And mind you, I said this quite a bit last year, but there's a pretty good feeling about what Jarrett Stidham has done during the course of this offseason. I don't know if you want to take the cheese again. That's just what I'm being told, that they like sort of his demeanor right now, that they feel like there's a bit more urgency to his operation, if you will. He's the one who organized the workouts on the West Coast earlier this offseason. So, Baldy, maybe Jarrett Stidham is saying, I'm not done just yet. This isn't Cam's job just yet.
So, what does that mean? Well, it sounds like Stidham is making one last push to not get cut. It's kind of how I felt about it from the beginning. When we saw these workouts in California with Stidham that he was organizing with Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, all these players, is that he's trying to, that he must have, you'd think he heard the reports after the season that teammates didn't believe in him. That, like, if they handed it over to him, they might lose the locker room, all that crap. So what is he doing? He's trying to win his teammates, his new teammates especially. And he's trying to hang on and make one push for this job. So, what does that mean for the quarterback position? It doesn't change a whole lot. It doesn't. I think they should still draft a quarterback. And I would still prefer a trade up for a quarterback, because Stidham has not given us any reason we should believe in him just yet. So you got to run under the assumption that he's not going to be ready. And he cannot play or cannot take the reins. What if they don't take a quarterback, though? Is that even a possibility that they don't take a quarterback? How should you feel about them not taking a quarterback? Like, what if we're back to square one again? It's Cam Newton, Jarrett Stidham, and some bum we never heard of, or we know who's a bum, like Brian Hoyer. Like, if we're back to that, let's say we're back to that again. Round 2, we're running it back with Cam and Stidham. Who's going to win, and who are you rooting for? Obviously, it's April. You can't win the job in April, and it hasn't even been a full offseason just yet. So you can't really tell. You can guess as of right now that Cam would probably win the job, but we're a long ways away from that. So I think a more interesting question is, who are you rooting for? Who should you root for? I think it's obvious. You have to root for Stidham. Why? Nothing personal against Cam. Nothing personal against Cam whatsoever. But I feel like Cam doesn't have much more upside. I feel like that's more of a dead end. Just with his age, he's 31, but he's playing more like he's in his late 30s because of a couple shoulder surgeries and foot surgery. He's beat up. He's washed. He might play better this year thanks to the supporting cast, but I don't think he's, as a passer, is going to get much better, is what I'm driving at. Like, Cam might have a higher floor. Stidham has the higher ceiling now. I'm not talking all the time. He's not going to be better than what Cam was in 2015. Don't twist my words. Right now, you should be rooting for Stidham because he could give you longevity. He could. If he pops, and that would seriously be a pop, because out of nowhere, all of a sudden, he's going to start balling out and winning his teammates over. And it's frankly, I think is a long shot. But let's say this happened. Let's say, if these reports aren't total bullcrap and he can actually play, then give him the job, obviously. It's just a matter of finding out, and you should obviously root for that to happen, but it's a matter of, will that happen? And we're going to find out. And we don't have much evidence to think otherwise that it would happen, but I mean, you never know till it happens, I guess. You can't win the job in April, though, so these reports right now don't mean a damn thing. We learned this last year. These reports don't mean a damn thing until they actually shows it in training camp. So I wouldn't put too much stock into these, because the whole point here is to have a long-term quarterback. Cam Newton is not a long-term quarterback, and Stidham has the chance, however much that chance you think that is, whether it's like 1% or 50%, wherever you want to put it, he still has a chance. There's more upside with Jarrett Stidham right now than Cam Newton. I think that's obvious. I'm not rooting for him because of anything personal. No, he didn't play for my college team. He didn't do none of that. I'm rooting for him because he's a young player with more potential upside than what Cam has to offer. And he's much more of a long-term answer than Cam would, because just age-wise, he's a younger quarterback. So obviously you should root for Stidham. I think that's obvious. I personally think it's a no-brainer. You should root for Stidham, and you should hope that he turns into something. Nothing personal against Cam. He has the higher floor, but right now, at this point in Cam Newton's career, he does not have the higher ceiling. Now, who's gonna win? Who the hell knows? And we're not gonna know until training camp. And let's see what the draft looks like. What if we do get a Mac Jones? Frankly, even in year one, Mac Jones might beat both of them. Or whoever we draft, or Justin Fields, Kellen Mond, name it. We got to see what happens first. Let's not jump to conclusions just yet. I'm just saying, in that one specific scenario, if we're back to where we started with Brian Hoyer back or not, who should you root for? It's obvious. It's Jarrett Stidham. You have to root for him and hope he turns into something. Otherwise, we're going through another year of Cam, who has limited upside at this point in his career, and you're still looking for the long-term guy, and you're going year to year with a bridge quarterback. Again, it's what's the point? You need a guy who can bring you over the top, and Cam Newton cannot do that. And nothing personal against him, and I'm not bashing him. I'm bashing the team for how they're handling this position. You're only going to get rid of Brady if you have a plan, and they really don't have a plan, unless Jarrett Stidham has been that plan, and he just wasn't ready last year. Unless that is the plan, there really is no plan. Let's see if they target someone in this draft. I'm really interested to see if they do, and I kind of hope they do. So we don't have to go into this training camp wondering, is it Stidham or Cam? Is Stidham going to turn into something, or is he just a backup or a bum? Or will Cam Newton play better, and how much better will he play? So it's these are all questions I don't want to know the answer to. I would rather just draft a quarterback and then have Stidham and Cam fight to be the bridge quarterback for this year, and then we have our long-term guy the year after. Stidham can be the backup for all I care, and Cam can be on his merry way, maybe even get paid if he plays better this season. So so everyone's happy. That would be the perfect scenario. So that's what what you're rooting for and what will happen are completely different things. If you think Cam Newton is miles better than Stidham, I'm not gonna really, at this point, I'm definitely not gonna argue with that. If you can't even get on the field when you're eliminated from the playoffs, how much better can you really be? So I'm not gonna argue Stidham over Cam. I'm not gonna argue that he's better. You should root for him though. But I would keep your eye on, I wouldn't sleep on Stidham. That's what I'd say. Don't sleep on him, keep an eye out. Keep an eye out on him. And let's see how he does, regardless of what we do in the draft. But as of right now, we don't really have much. You shouldn't have much confidence in him right now. But let's see if he can change that and prove people wrong. Everyone's saying Cam's gonna prove people wrong this year. Let's see if Stidham can prove some people wrong as well. Let's see if they can both prove people wrong, and maybe we can actually have a good quarterback room. I doubt it, but let's see what happens. If we have the same two players, Cam and Stidham, and Cam is still your starter, then you have made no progress at the quarterback at the most important position in sports. If Cam's starting and you draft someone fairly high, second round or higher, then fine. You actually have something going at quarterback. You made a step. If it's just Stidham and Cam, and has won the job, then fine. You might have something. Let's see how that goes, and then maybe you'll have something. But right now, let's go get someone in the draft, please. So we don't have to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to see which two bags of suck is better than the other. It's just a waste of time, and it's hurting the team because of it. So that's my quick little rant slash discussion on Cam Newton versus Jarrett Stidham. Who should you root for? Who will win the job? I think you should root for is obvious. You should root for Jarrett Stidham. Who you think will win the job right now in April before the draft? Like, we can't really say anything other than Cam, right? Because Stidham's done some workouts. Like, besides that, we have no real evidence that he could be better than Cam. So, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think in the comments. Who are you rooting for if this such scenario happens where we're back with Cam and Stidham in training camp? Who are you rooting for? Who do you think will win? And are we still drafting someone? Who do you want in the draft? I hope you enjoyed. See you later.